This shock resignation announcement last week by Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was initially kind of dismissed as, oh, it's a spat between she and Donald Trump. But actually, the reporting that's come on since suggests that the atmosphere among Republicans in Congress is close to toxic, and that Marjorie Taylor Greene may be the leading edge of Republicans looking to get out of Dodge, which is, or in this case, Dodge is Washington, which is totally fascinating to me. I want to read you a few quotes that illustrate this that have come out over the last 24 hours. So Jake Sherman, who founded a site called Punchbowl News, which covers Congress extremely closely, one of the best sourced reporters in Congress, he tweeted out a few things yesterday. Here's one senior House Republican member of Congress talking about the current mood in the House and the possibility of more members resigning before their terms are out in 2026. I'm going to quote it. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, all. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Goes on. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel and they will lose the majority before the term is out. Then Sherman followed up a few hours later. He said, quote, I've gotten countless text messages from House Republicans agreeing with this sentiment and saying, why the hell should we stay in Congress if all we're going to do is vote on censures and be a potted plant? One more quote. The former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, he was on Fox News with Jesse Waters on Monday night. This is what he said about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Quote, she's almost like the canary in the coal mine. And this is something inside Congress. They'd better wake up because they're going to get a lot of people retiring and they've got to focus. All right. So I actually think this makes a ton of sense because what's one of the big storylines we've talked about for the first 10 months of Donald Trump's presidency, how the executive branch has seized power from the legislative branch, right? Over and over again, the executive branch, whether it's on spending or rescissions, they have repeatedly taken on jobs that are constitutionally allocated to Congress and done them themselves. And Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, and John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, have largely allowed that to happen because they want to keep those jobs. And pissing Donald Trump off is a fast way to not keep those jobs. But if you are a member of Congress who's been in Congress pre-Donald Trump's second term, which is virtually all of them, you want to do stuff. You want to have power. You don't want to see your leaders give up power. I also think the 50-day recess that House Speaker Mike Johnson put the House into after September 19th, when the House voted to authorize the funding of the government and the Senate did not agree. I think that rankled a lot of members too. Democrats, of course, but I think Republicans as well. They want to do things. I know people think that, oh, they're just lazy. No, the average rank and file member of Congress, Republican or Democrat, wants to do stuff. They want to pass things. I mean, some of it's because they want to do good and do public service. Some of it's because they want to be able to go to their constituents come 2026 and say, I did this and I did that and I did this. And they haven't been able to do that. So the fact that Johnson recessed the House for 50 days, largely because he didn't want to swear in Adelita Grijalva so that the Epstein files discharge petition would move. And he did all that at the behest of Donald Trump, obviously, I think didn't sit well with a lot of members. So Marjorie Taylor Greene may be a unique case. I think a lot of members might think about resigning, which is leaving midterm, or retiring, which is announcing you're leaving at the end of your term. I don't know how many will make good on it other than her. Don Bacon, House member from Nebraska, who is retiring at the end of this session of Congress, said he was considering resigning, but decided that he's going to stick it out. So, you know, I think some of these guys talk a big game, right? Particularly when they're not quoted. They talk a big game about everybody's unhappy and everyone's going to leave. And then we'll see if everyone leaves. But I do think people are unhappy and the numbers bear this out. So I went back and looked. So as of today, Tuesday, November 25th, 41 members of the House, 41 members of the House, Democrats and Republicans, are not seeking re-election. Some of them have resigned. Some of them are running for other offices. Some of them are just retiring. How does that compare to past full 2-year election cycles? Well, it's already more than the 35 House members who retired or ran for other office in 2020. It's almost as many as the 46 in 2024 and the 46 in 2022 who left the House. Remember, we're at 41 now, and we still got, a year almost until the election. The most retirements we've seen in the modern era is in 1992 when we had 63. The reason for that is because we had the 1991 redrawing of lines, congressional lines, that forced a lot of members out of districts. It was redistricting that first year, the 92, 2002, 2022 usually drives a lot of members out because they don't want to run in the districts that they're in. But in a non-census and then redistricting year, that we're at 41 retirements already before the end of the off year, I do think speaks to the fact that it's not a great place to be, particularly if you're in the Republican Party, because the executive branch is so dominant, your leadership is so docile, and there's not really much to do. You just kind of do what Donald Trump says. You're not really voting all that much. You're not legislating all that much. And the leadership seems perfectly fine with that because they want to keep their leadership job. So I don't think it's a super happy place to be. I don't know if we're going to see a bunch more resignations, but I would bet we see more retirements. I bet we go over 50. And do we get to that 51 that we saw in 2018? I think we probably do. And that speaks to it is not a fun place to be. It's not a fun job. And House members, particularly on the Republican side, are voting with their feet by saying, I'm out of here. I hope you do one thing for me if you see this, which is just hit that subscribe button. It'll get you content for free like this every single day, and it will help me continue to grow as an independent news creator. All right, thanks so much. Take care.